More than half of the country's governors are refusing to accept refugees from Syria following the Paris attacks.
One of the attackers apparently may have entered France through Greece among the wave of refugees. It's sparking a debate here in the U.S. over whether we should consider security over compassion. Chief Legal Correspondent Jan Crawford is in Washington. Jan, can governors legally block refugees from entering their states?
Short answer is no. Federal law prohibits them from legally blocking the refugees, and the federal government generally under that law works, to kind of equally distribute the refugees. And they're looking to things like ties to the community, whether they have family in a specific state or culture there, or, where there may have better prospects. Under the law, that is coordinated, and that also directs the federal funds. So challenges to that in the past have not worked. And I think most legal experts on both sides of the aisle say that the states here can't just say, no, you can't come to our state.
So what are lawmakers saying? How do they want to make it more difficult to enter the country?
Well, that's a good question. So, look, they're not going to be setting up border checkpoints or demanding papers. I think what they would try to do instead is just say, we're not going to help with this. We're not going to help relocate these refugees. And, that could be anything from refusing to issue a driver's license to people who've been granted asylum, something like that. But, I think that what's important to think about here is that there are some states who are saying, well, we would take these refugees. And those are states where they would probably have been settled anyway, say like New York. There's not been a lot of Syrian refugees going to some of these states where the Republican governors are saying, no, we do not want these refugees here. One state I think that's interesting to look at is Illinois, which has settled Syrian refugees already, and now they're saying no. So you do see some states where they're saying no, but once the refugees are in, then they can move to these other states. But the question is, why would they want to move there if the states are saying we don't want you?
So, Jan, let's say that this becomes a legal issue, that there are some governors who want to take this to court. There's already precedent, isn't there?
No, and I think that that's a losing battle for them at this point. The real battle, and I think what we're really going to see, is in Congress. And I think the governors know it. Just yesterday, Florida Governor Rick Scott, for example, he sent a letter to House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he acknowledged, it's our understanding, as he put it, that the state doesn't have the authority to prevent the federal government from funding the relocation of Syrian refugees. So Scott, in this letter, is basically asking Congress to take action to prevent the president and the administration from using tax dollars to accept Syrian refugees without this extensive evaluation of the risk that they might pose. Now, on that issue, and here's where you do have common ground with Republicans and Democrats. I interviewed Senator Dianne Feinstein, a senior Democrat, yesterday on this issue. She's very concerned about the vetting. So, those are the issues that you may want to focus on. Is the government properly vetting these refugees? The administration says yes. Republicans say no. And even some Democrats are saying, let's make sure. Now, Senator Feinstein said yesterday that she was not wanting to delay the program or end the program of accepting 10,000 of these Syrian refugees, but she just wants to make sure the refugees who are coming into this country are properly vetted. And I think you're going to see a lot of debate on the Hill on both sides of the aisle about that.
Debate that will certainly continue in the weeks and months to come. Jan Crawford in Washington for us. Jan, thank you.
Thanks.